What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Check this out. Pine trees, no farm fields. I am in the Olympic Peninsula, the Pacific Northwest. Been spending most of the summer here, actually. Thought I'd give you guys a little tour of kind of what I've been dealing with. A little day in the life of a jump pilot now. So I've been staying with my buddy Andy on his property. He's got like 40 acres here. Check this out. A little hangar here. He's got his own little private strip at his house. Talk about dream life here. Been riding my motorcycle to work every day. Brought my Sur on my electric bike. Check out this runway. It's like a 1,800 foot, a little hill in there. The top. His cousin Luke lives up at the top, who, fun fact, he's also a skydiver, pilot. He's got a 180, and he's got a mall. And I've been flying in and out of here. Pretty rad. And then the drop zone, where I've been working at, is only about 3 miles away, 4 miles away. And I've been flying a BlackHawk Caravan all summer long. It's been pretty rad. Also jumping quite a lot. Pretty fun stuff. I didn't get to have my airplane here too much, though, because it was smoky. Cade was borrowing the airplane. Not borrowing it, it's his airplane, so I had it here for like 2 weeks is all. It was so smoky we didn't even fly. I flew one day with Andy after my plane already left. I'll show you guys some of that footage, but the footage is not very great because it was so dang smoky. But it's about 9:30 or so. Drop zone opens at 11:30 on the weekdays, so let's go over there. Taking the bike to the drop zone and go do some skydiving, some flying, see how it goes. Oh my God!
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I'm learning how to fly some back wheel bush flying with old Scott Clammer. We'll back taxi this and we'll take off going the other way. All right, we're gonna come do a flyby over your head then. Hey Andy, come in, form up, or just slow down and form up on our right side, and Jack will shoot back at ya. Okie dokie. You might want to push the power in a little bit. I'm coming up fast.
The Max is capturing some good footage right now.
Right. Got current on that one. Still getting current. Still current. Got the taxi straight in clearance, right?
Jet fuel. Get some. Oh, so I had no plan of this today when I decided to do a vlog of the day, but one of our buddies, fellow pilot, brought his Turbo Beaver in today. This is like the ultimate dream ship. Check this thing out. So it's got a PT6-34 on it, converted. It's not a turbine from the factory. On amphib. Yes, amphibs. Beauty. One of the best bits is I get to drive a fuel truck. Look at this beast. Boom! Big trucks, air brakes, love it. And Colfax crop dusting, they don't have a fuel truck, we just have big fuel tanks, and it just doesn't feel nearly as cool not driving a fuel truck, so I've been liking this. I can fuel my own airplane. Met many talents. No, just doing my thing. So we only fill on the left side because we hot fuel most of the day. But we're just starting, I'm just fueling before I start. If I fill it up for 4 loads, which is about 75 gallons depending on how hard I'm flying it. We try and do about 14 minutes to altitude and then a 2-minute descent. So 15 or 16 minutes round trip. And we're doing 4 of those with 75 gallons of fuel. Big engine, burns a little bit of fuel, but makes us get up and down faster, which at the end of the day means more loads. So it's a pretty fine fleet of aircraft. We've got the Twin Otter, Dash 27 PT6s on it. We used to have one with the Dash 34s, but it's missing in action now. And we have the BlackHawk Grand Caravan, which was one of the first BlackHawk converted caravans there was for jump operations. And then we just picked up this one out of Argentina that's going to undergo a BlackHawk conversion in the next month or so. We got the engine sitting in the hangar and about to put it on. Oh, it's heavier than I thought it was going to be. So due to coronavirus, we had to have a little bit of a mitigation plan. So normally I think we put 17 jumpers in this airplane, but during the mitigation plan of the coronavirus thing in Washington State, we chose to only run it with 15 jumpers in it, just to provide a little bit more distancing. Masks are required inside the airplane, and yeah, we're doing the best we can. And overall, the season's been pretty spectacular, actually. Everybody wants to get out of the house and recreate a little bit, so plus for that.
So I'm on load 4 now. This is the first time I've had the cockpit to myself. Everybody always wants to fly with me because, well, good to fly with Cade, but well, I just wanted to give you guys a little briefing on how this whole thing works. So, full of jumpers in the bag. I got enough fuel, trim set for takeoff, fuel's on, flaps are down, got 20 degrees of flaps in. The BlackHawk Caravan, we take 2,200 pounds of torque on takeoff. Strong traffic, Caravan 29, Bravo departing runway 23, with a straight out departure. We're on the way, on the roll. Bringing up the power lever slowly. Up to 2,200 pounds. Prop spinning, airspeed's alive. Gauges are nominal and we're off the ground. Light on fuel, flaps to 10, pitch for 80. Milk the flaps up, a little more. Let her start to accelerate a little bit more. Flaps all the way up. Nobody's coming in on 5, still good. It's kind of a little bit hard to see. Now I built up speed, so I let it cruise to 90 after I let the flaps up, build some speed, and then I'm going to pull and pitch back for 80. That's the best rate for us at the weight and the power that we have down low. And now we're going to run all the way back to 11,000 feet. I'll check back in with you. Start to pull the power out. We're going to give them the light, let them start opening the door. Pitching for 70 now. We're going to turn around so you can see them drop, jump. And I'm just holding on that OBS line, holding 70 knots. We got power down to 580 pounds of torque, so they don't get blasted off the side of the airplane. We're now 0.5 from the airport. Still holding 70. 0.4 from the airport. Now I'm looking, we're still dropping jumpers. You'll see there's some jumpers wearing wingsuits. So with wingsuits and a low wing or low tail aircraft, I'm going to pull the power out to about 300 pounds before they jump, so they don't hit my tail. So there's the last bit of power coming out. We're actually in a slight descent now. Wing shooters are out, power to idle, flaps forward. Wing shooters go out the door there. Whoa, I almost lost my phone. Wing shooters are descending as soon as I push past them, so I'm pitching for 140, so I'm a little bit faster than them. I can see I've descended below them, they're no factor anymore. So now I'm going to continue to pitch for 140, I'm going to turn away from the jump run. And as long as I stay 140 or below, I'm disking with the prop, and so I can descend really steep. On the way into the base, we're kind of playing an opposite pattern, so I can kind of see in there a little bit, and I'm descending in the pattern. Shell traffic, Caravan 29 Bravo on a high base over the prison, runway 5, Shell. Now I can see parachutes starting to open from where I dropped it. Clear, nobody's in front of me. Now as we get down here, it gets thicker, it starts slowing me down a little bit more, so I'm going to start adding power because I'm about 2 miles from the drop zone. From the runway. There's that wind shear layer that we flew through on the way up.
Get on to a long final for 3-4, traffic permitting, 500 feet.
And we have the first parachute landing. It beat me just a little bit. It's kind of the race of the day to see who can win, if I can win or they can win. I always beat the wing shooters down. So now our mile final, slow down to 120 knots. I can add in 20 degrees of flaps. I'm gonna let the prop come forward to help slow us down here. Increase torque to about 300 pounds. A little bit of wind helps with the flare. It's got a really heavy nose, this one, with that bigger engine on the front. And show traffic here, Van 29 Bravo, show bound 5. And 80 as we cross the threshold. Hold her off for a nice flare. Oh, it's a little weird down here now all of a sudden. That's why we hold the power in too, it just allows us to float, decide how we want to land. Ooh, and we're down. Oh, it's a crosswind, that's what happened to me. And parachutes are coming down out there. Now we're out of fuel, got just the minimums remaining, so we're going to go in and get her filled up. Keep on going. So it's 4 loads in 1 hour 32 minutes since I turned the engine on. And again, it takes a little bit of time to load up and wait for people at the ground, but did, yeah, exactly 1 hour on the Hobbs. So 32 minutes on the ground waiting around. The Hobbs only works for if I'm above 20 knots. But there you have it. Do this all day long. I think we got about 15 loads planned for the day or something. So up and down, up and down. That's how we do it.
16 loads just like that. Planes are tied down, ready to go to bed. You guys know the drill. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you on the next video.